Hello there, and welcome back to the Marketing 101 for Small Business Owners podcast. I'm your host again, Philippa Channer, and I'm thrilled to have you here for another insightful episode. First, I want to say happy Valentine's Day to all the lovebirds out there. I hope you're taking some time to show your love and appreciation to that special somebody in your life. I know you have dinner reservations, so looking forward to that. If you're new here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our weekly dose of marketing wisdom. Today, we're going to be diving deep into a topic that forms the heart and soul of your business. It's crafting your brand story. It's not just about what you do. It's about why you do what you do. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just getting started, understanding the art of storytelling can elevate your brand to new heights. So let's explore some of the powerful ways of crafting your brand story. The first thing you want to think about is the essence of brand storytelling. Let's kick off by exploring what brand storytelling actually means. It's more than just a marketing tactic. It's the emotional core of your business. Your brand story is the narrative that connects with your audience on a deeper level. It's about creating an emotional resonance that goes beyond the transaction or the sale. Let's think about the psychology of storytelling. Why are humans wired to connect with narratives? Understanding this connection can transform how your audience perceives and engages with your brand. Storytelling from day one, on the walls and caves, people were depicting and telling stories. It's something that we connect with. It helps us to understand something deeper beyond just somebody instructing us. Like at school, when you're being taught something, it's lessons, clear and dry, A plus B equals C. But then there's this storytelling of why A joins with B and then forms C. It just goes deeper into just the facts. It helps us connect. And that's what we want people to do with our brands, is help them to connect with us on a deeper level. So you want to define your brand's narrative. So your brand story should answer the why behind your business. What drives you? What values do you stand for? What key elements, have you engaged in through the development of your business or through life that got you to start your business? Understanding that does play a part into connecting with a brand. You have to understand, why do you start your business? And what I don't want to hear when you answer that question is, okay, I started my business to make money. Starting a business to be able to stay home with your child and help raise them is a good reason to have a home business, but it doesn't answer why this business. Why did you choose this particular service or product to create for your business? And that's the why we want to get to. For me, I started my marketing business because I saw a lot of potential, especially in nonprofits in my area. They were doing such good work, and the services that they're providing were tremendous, but I felt like the community wasn't finding them. And that's my why. And not just for nonprofits now, but for women entrepreneurs. There's definitely a struggle there in terms of being seen, being valued, and being appreciated. And so I really have a passion for helping women entrepreneurs get a better handle on their own business strategy, their marketing strategy, finding their audience, and finding their messaging. That's my why. That's not my narrative. That's not my brand story, but that's my why. And I incorporate that into my story. You want to think about what it is that compelled you to create or start your particular business. Some real world examples, which I'm totally going to botch the story of this. In America, we have Uber. Over in East Asia, they have what's called Grab. And Grab is like Uber on steroids. Grab does so much more than just, getting rides and delivering food. They have a financial piece, banking investment built into it. It's just so many different ways that this company is providing, not just for the employees that they hire to do the services, but the community that they're serving. And one of their core reasons for starting the business was because there was a huge, I know we have issues in America as well, but the issue and the concern for safety for women and children, just for a woman to try and get a taxi after work to go home, the insults and abuse that she would experience was tremendous, and it was heartbreaking. And so the owners and the founders saw this concern, and they wanted to provide a safe place for children and women to be able to be transported back and forth within the city and not have to worry about being assaulted, being abused or anything. I mean, that to me is a huge foundation. And to see where they started and where they are now, and all how Grab has built into, it's an amazing story to listen to. I just heard this story recently on a retreat that I had by faith-driven entrepreneurs. You can hear the whole story about Grab and how they got started and their whys. But that's a big example of how a brand can incorporate their why into their business and really connect with their audience in a deeper way, causing people to want to support and encourage them to work with them. So you want to think about your why and how you can incorporate that into your brand identity. The next thing we want to consider is building authentic connections. When it comes to your story and how you deliver it, the goal is to create a connection with your audience that's authentic. We're going to explore how to craft your brand story that builds authentic connections. In a world filled with noise, authenticity is the currency that resonates with your audience. You know it when you see it. You can see when you're scrolling on TikTok or YouTube shorts, you know an authentic experience when you see it versus a staged encounter. Those staged encounters still tell a good story and still can give, good happy feelings. But when you see an authentic experience, it hits different. And that's what you want for your brand. When you tell your story, you want it to hit different because people should know it's coming from the heart. It's not crafted and manipulated to get likes or to get, stuff. It's really true. You want to be genuine and transparent in your narrative because that's going to create some trust and loyalty with your audience. Once they can see, and trust me, people can see it, that this is really authentically how you felt, the core problem you wanted to solve, it's going to connect with them. It's going to resonate with them. You also want to consider all the different touch points of engaging with your story. Being able to tell your story face to face is awesome. That's, when you're networking, meeting one-on-one, telling your story verbally is great. But there's other ways where your story can resonate. So you can have your story depict through your social media, on your website, different materials that you have printed. Your story doesn't need to just be delivered in one place. You can figure out ways to incorporate it all along the whole entire journey. So that way people are having a consistent experience with you no matter where they find you and engage with you. And you want to think about the long-term relationship. The long-term benefits that are built because of authentic connections last. You see, a well-crafted brand story is going to lay the foundation for lasting relationships with your customers. It's going to lead to brand advocacy, word-of-mouth marketing. Again, people are going to remember, like just the same way I remembered that Grab story and I'm sharing it with you. It's something that connected with me and I'm able to share it, word of mouth, spread it out. I wish it was here in America. We want to expand Uber to be that. But, anyways, when you are crafting these stories and building your authentic story. Again, if you're doing it authentically, you are creating a space to create long-term relationships with people that are not just going to be in the moment. That's one of our goals, right? And the last thing we want to talk about in terms of our brand story is crafting your unique narrative. These are going to be some techniques and best practices. So let's talk practical. How do you go about crafting your brand story? It's more than just words. It's about weaving this narrative that captivates and resonates. So this can be from creating relatable characters in your story. The most authentic one is obviously if you personally had an experience or a family member had an experience that created this need or you opened up your awareness to a particular need and issue. That story is going to definitely resonate. When it comes to telling your story, authenticity is key. 9 times out of 10, when you start a business, it's because you were made aware of a big problem or an issue in the community and you felt you had the solution to solve it, or you have the drive to find the solution to solve it. And so you develop this business around the solutions you have, either a product or service. And oftentimes this is coming from either a personal experience, something that you encountered and you don't want anybody else to go through again, or a family member is going through it, an organization that you are closely tied to experiences something that you felt there was an injustice to or a lack, and it could have been, the results could have been better had they had X, Y, and Z. So that's your product or service that you are creating to fill that void and meet this need. And so using that personal experience or that secondhand encounter with a family member to be able to tell that story, that's going to be very compelling, because again, if it's true and it's authentic, people are going to resonate. So you want to captivate your audience by creating these relatable characters. Again, this can be either yourself or somebody that builds the tension and then shows the resolution, and cover basically the compelling brand narrative in the experience that they had. Then there's visual storytelling. So I mentioned it just doesn't, your storytelling doesn't need to just be your spoken word. You can have some visual elements. This can be, again, if you went through a situation, let's say you had an accident and you could have recovered faster if you had, this particular gadget that you just designed. You can show pictures if you want to of your progress. That's that visual reality of the progress you went through in that recovery phase. It's going to resonate. It's going to help people to visually understand what was going on. Visuals really help your storytelling. If another way to obviously connect your story with your brand is if your logo visually represents, something about the encounter, your story. So for instance, I'm working with a nonprofit and we're establishing an organization called Health Harmony. And I wanted to come up with a logo that visually represents what our cause stands for. It's reaching out with our hands into the community with love to show them the importance and the value of taking care of their health, getting regular checkups, getting connected with the resources that our county has to offer that provide, that can help them live a healthier life. And so I want to, incorporate something with hands and hearts and, maybe the color's green to represent health. So those are different ways that as I'm telling the story, the logo could resonate with people and connect with people. Again, going back to the whole colors thing. The last technique or the thing to consider when it comes to crafting your unique narrative and the best practices is you want to be consistent across all your channels. And so your brand, once you figure out your story and you weave it into your visual identity, you want to make sure that that visual representation is consistent no matter where they find you on your website, your social media, your offline presence, any advertisements you may print. Maintaining this cohesive narrative really strengthens your brand identity and helps people just resonate with you more because it's familiar once they see it several times. As we conclude today's episode exploring crafting your brand story, let's recap some of the takeaways we talked about. We've talked about a lot. So we've covered the essence of brand storytelling, building authentic connections, and practical techniques for crafting your unique story. Remember that your brand story is a living, breathing entity. It's a journey that your audience wants to be a part of. So help them understand and connect with you more by creating these stories that helps them connect with you. All right, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Your brand story is your superpower. Embrace it, refine it, and let it resonate with your audience. Say it out loud to your husband or wife or your family. See how they connect with it. The impact can be transformative, creating a local community around your brand once you get your brand story really refined. Right? So before we go, please make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. We've got so much more in-depth discussions on marketing strategies coming your way. You don't want to miss out on future episodes. And if you're ready to elevate your brand through storytelling and would like personalized guidance, I'm offering a free consultation session. Just check out the link in the description for your scheduled session, and let's craft a narrative that truly speaks to your audience. Join us next week as we continue our journey into the world of marketing strategies. Our next topic will cover the strategies that we use for brand consistency and recognition. I'm excited to explore more exciting insights with you. So until then, I'm signing off. Stay inspired, stay creative, and I'll catch you in our next episode.